Hey there, Chuck with MTG The Journey and RogueDeckBuilder.com. This is our 2.0 version of our mono white deck, and as I said, we are evolving along with this deck and trying out some different things to see how it works best. We did replace a few cards, and this is kind of what I want to build around now to see what we can get this to do. We do have a lot of bestow guys, just simply because of the fact that they do also take the place of these ethereal armors, God's Willings, Gift of Arzovas. Um, we have a lot of these type of things because we do have stuff that we want to target with heroic. So we have Nyxborn Shieldmates, which we can bestow, and Hopeful Eidolons, which we can also bestow, and of course we have the Eidolon of Countless Battles that we can also bestow. So between everything, we have like probably 15 things that we can bestow on stuff, which is kind of the goal, because we want to have things that we can bestow for low cost based on the hero of Iroh here. Our Gift of Arzovas generally cost us a lot less. Our Eidolon of Countless Battles cost us 3 or 2 instead of the normal 4. These guys usually cost only 2. Hopeful Eidolon will cost only 3. So those are very good things. Our favorite hoplite, of course, is too good to pass up. We have added Fabled Heroes in there because the +1/+1 counter in Double Strike can be very devastating to an opponent if they can't block it, especially if we have a Gift of Orzova on there and we get double lifelink off of it. So that's fantastic. The Glare of Heresies I added to the sideboard here because I figured they would help against the Esper matchups and the U-White matchups and the American Control matchups to get rid of those detention spheres and get our stuff back onto the field. Orzhov Charms I added. I'm not sure how well these are going to work with only 4 black sources in here. We might be hit and miss there, so I might add a couple more Godless Shrines, which will set us a little bit above budget if we want to do a budget version of this. But I have added also 4 Temple of Silences for Scry and 2 Nykthoses as well, just to add a little bit more splash of fun in there. I added some Revoke Existence as well for the same concept as the Glare of Heresies, but these also get, I mean, you could just run the Glare of Heresies. I don't really know why these are actually in here. So we could just run 4 Glare of Heresies and bring in some other thing here that we want to try out in the deck. But we run Holy Mantles just to side in against really creature heavy decks that have the ability to just put a whole lot of creatures on the field that they can just throw in and chump block. So this gives us protection from creatures. So that's nice. Really the only thing that this deck doesn't have an answer for are things like oh, I know what I want to do with these Revoke Existences. I know what I want to bring for these. I want to bring in Celestial Flares. If it'll work here. Yes. Alright. I actually want to bring in, I'm actually going to bring in all 3 of these. I'm going to put this other God's Willing back. We're going to go ahead and put these back as well. And we're going to keep these Celestial Flares. Because these actually do get rid of Blood Baron. And they are extremely helpful. So, Stormbreath Dragon too, this will help deal with. So, those are ways that we can deal with those creatures that have protection from white and black. If they block us, we Celestial Flare them. They have to sack it. So that is actually a huge help with that. So to Brave the Elements, I decided to go ahead and add in. I had so many people tell me you really need to run these. So I'm going to try them out, see if I like them, as we can swing completely unblocked as long as we cast this before we swing in. And these Hopeful Eidolons and the Gift of Arzovas also give us lifelink. That is just too important to this deck if we have to go any longer than the first 4 or 5 turns. But I have put together a list of cards here, so you can see what the cost is, and you can see that here. And as you can see, I've broken the list down for you here into 4 different companies that you could purchase these from. And the different prices for the different cards are listed here. So you can kind of pause this if you wanted to and just kind of take a look at this. But here is where you can see the actual cost of the deck. The cheapest place you can actually buy the entire deck is TCG Player. And you can buy every card in the deck for $37.95 if you don't want the lands, and $73.45 if you do want the lands. I did look at MTG Madness, and they are missing quite a few of the card prices, so I did email them and ask them to at least update their card prices. So even though they're out of stock of them right now, when they do get them back in stock, it would be helpful to know the prices so that we could compare their prices, because they are quite a bit cheaper, actually, a little bit on some of their cards than Cool Stuff is. But TCG Player beats all of them out by quite a bit. The only problem with TCG Player is that you have to buy them from different companies or from different people. So you might have to pay multiple shipping costs, but generally they try to clump that together fairly well. I've done some purchasing through TCG Player, and I also did include how much you would expect to pay for this if you go through MTGO traders to just buy the deck for MTGO, which is $19 without the land and $27 with the land. So either way, you can get this deck for under $100, well under $100 for MTGO. Which classifies it, I guess, as a budget brew. So you do have that. But back to the video here. But yeah, I hope that price list helped you out there a little bit. Hopefully that will give you kind of an idea of what you might spend on something like this. Not overly expensive, so kind of in the budgety range here. That especially on MTGO here, that you can spend almost nothing on this deck and just have fun and play around with it, and you can add a couple things here and there. So I think we're going to go ahead and do a couple of videos here with this setup and just see what we can get it to do. So stick around and finish up the playlist here, and thanks for watching. It's been Chuck with MTG The Journey and RogueDeckBuilder.com.